everyone, welcome back to my channel and also to a brand new video. For people who are new here, I am Nimantrita from New Jersey. I mostly make travel videos which includes itinerary, food, places to visit and routes. Today I am on my way to one of the largest maritime museum in United States, the Mystic Seaport Museum in Connecticut. It is notable for its collection of sailing ships and boats and for the recreation of the craft and the fabric of an entire 19th century seaport village. The Seaport was one of the first living history museums in the United States with a collection of buildings and craftsmen to show how people lived back then. It attracts more than 3 lakh visitors every year. Come, let's explore it. It took us around 3 hours to reach Connecticut. The rain slowed us down, otherwise we would have reached in 2.5 hours. Ticket price to the museum is $29 per person. It is a both open and closed museum. Unfortunately, that day it was raining, but it did not stop us from exploring this masterpiece. The main attraction of this place is how the infamous American whaling industry functioned and how it ceases to exist today. The restoration of the Charles W. Morgan, the last of the whaling ship, which was active for 80 years. The museum is also partially a working ship restoration yard. The first ship we boarded was the famous L.A. Dunam fishing schooner. It stands at 123 feet and is one of the few remaining vessels of her type in the country. This was a 100-year-old vessel despite the fact that their design made them the fastest and the most able fishing vessel in the world. This century-old shipping vessel was acquired by the Mystic Seaport Museum in 1963. The Dunam is an example of the fittest type of American fishing schooner and a testimonial to the hard-working fishermen who manned her. We got the first-hand demonstration of her restoration in the museum. For more than 500 years, fishermen have come to the bank seeking the natural bounty of cod, haddock, halibut, and other edible fishes. The Dunam mostly worked in Cape Cod area where these fishes were plenty. By the end of Dunam's American career in early 1930s, the effect of overfishing was noticed, but still fishing efforts kept on increasing. After witnessing a 100-year-old fishing vessel, we walked towards the Seaport Museum village that has also been restored. The first building we entered was the grocery store for the village. There was a kind lady explaining us how things worked 100 years ago. How was coffee made, how was butter made and kept under the sea to control temperature. Everything was less than few cents. The grocery store was a testimonial of how people did grocery and how everything was handmade. From potato to eggs to fruits, spices, everything was available to the fisherman's family. The next shipping vessel we were about to witness was the infamous Charles W. Morgan, a whaling ship which roamed the ocean for 80 years. She is the only surviving wooden whaler from 2,700 ships that operated in the United States whaling fleet. The Morgan was launched on July 21, 1841 from the yards of Hillman in New Bedford, Massachusetts. It typically sailed with a crew of about 35, representing sailors from around the world. The whale ship measures around 106 feet. Over an 80-year whaling career, the Morgan embarked on 37 voyages, with most lasting 3 years or more. Made for durability, not speed, it roamed every corner of the globe in pursuit of whales. The Morgan is known as a lucky ship, having successfully navigated crushing Arctic ice, rounding storms of Cape Horn, and after finishing its whaling career even in the 1938 hurricane. Morgan's whaling days ended in 1921, and it was preserved by Edward H.R. Green's estate at Massachusetts until 1941. The Mystic Seaport Museum acquired the ship in the same year. Mystic Seaport Museum, more than 20 million visitors have walked its deck, including us. When once it hunted and processed whales for profit, its purpose now is to tell an important part of America's maritime heritage and lessons that history has for current generations. After hearing gruesome whaling stories from the gentleman on the deck, we wanted to explore the lower decks where the crew and the captain lived. The lower deck was extremely claustrophobic. I had goosebumps while entering the deck. It had almost 40 beds all cramped up. The crew lived such a hard life on the whale ship. There was hardly any room for a crew of 35. There were huge barrels where the whale oil was kept. All the tools that were used to break the whale's jaw to get ivory and the sharp tools to cut open the whale for fat, which later was processed into whale oil for industrial purpose. This part of the lower deck was designated to the captain and his associate. It felt so unreal. I was actually stepping on a deck where sailors walked hundreds of years ago. The upper deck was used to pull the whales and processing. It almost felt haunted. These were the barrels where the whale fat was processed into oil and stored. They were made from a special wood which was apt for whale oil storage. After witnessing a few more ships and the whaling era, we walked towards the Stillman Building, voyaging in the wake of whalers. It is an exploration of America's historic and contemporary relationship with whale and whaling, using collections, artifacts, and artwork alongside compelling audiovisual elements, immersive display, and thought-provoking interpretations pushes the past mechanism of whaling to show the richer and deeper stories of people, places, and ships. almost at the end of the museum tour. Sailors or whalers were an integral part of the entire whaling industry. They used to spend years in the open water in cold heat, snow, and so much more. Years of hard work and uncomfortable living conditions made them sick and unhealthy. The village had its own druggist and chemist shop. So many kinds of medicine, including herbal medicines, were kept. The village also had a church, reading room, and a place to learn carpentry for them. What an experience! I feel absolutely humbled that I could witness such a masterpiece with my own eyes. We could spend some more time, but we had to quickly rush to pick up a souvenir for the place. The gift shop was so beautiful, so many kind of maritime merchandise were sold. I took a magnet as a memory and we headed for lunch. We went to a local diner for some amazing comfort food. Luckily, the rain had stopped. All of us were really tired. After late lunch, we checked into our hotel. Thank you so much for watching. We are on a road trip to Rhode Island, the smallest state of US, tomorrow. We will be visiting beautiful mansions, do cliff walks, attend the Waterfire Festival, and do so much more. Please consider subscribing to watch all of it in the next few days. Till then, bye bye.